silent movie theater, located at 611 North Fairfax Avenue. John and Dorothy Hampton opened the 224-seat silent movie theater in 1942, just 15 years after motion picture sound had been introduced in Hollywood. They started the theater with their own personal collection of silent films and sought to collect and restore the silent classics during a time when most studios were destroying their previously viewed silent prints. Hampton preserved thousands of films using toxic chemicals in his bathroom tub, located above the theater, and in film labs around the Hollywood area. In the process of saving many of these classic titles from extinction, Hampton exposed himself to dangerous toxins that would eventually prove fatal. In the late 1970s, Hampton and his wife Dorothy announced that he had contracted cancer from many hours of chemical exposure. Hampton later died in 1990. The theater reopened in 1991, under a new proprietor, Lawrence Austin, who was a family friend of the Hamptons, but it wasn't long before tragedy struck the silent movie theater again. In 1996, Austin became the target of a murder plot, which was conspired by his live-in companion and theater projectionist James Van Sickle, also a beneficiary of the theater corporation, which included a valuable collection of approximately 1,000 silent films and other memorabilia. Austin was shot and killed on January 17, 1997, in the lobby by 19-year-old gun-for-hire, Christian Rodriguez, hired by Austin's business partner in a bid for his inheritance. He was killed during a screening of a Larry Semon comedy short. Rodriguez and Van Sickle were both convicted and sentenced to life in prison. The silent movie theater is known to be haunted by the spirits of its two former owners. It was completely renovated to capture the look of old-time movie theaters. In 2006 it was sold to new owners, who continued to show silent movies with live music once a week. The theater also showed a variety of other movies and hosted many events including private parties. The theater was closed November 14, 2017, it was due mainly to financial problems with the current owners. On October 13, 2020 it reopened as Brain Dead Studios. And classic films are still screened there. The silent movie theater is known to be haunted by the spirits of its two former owners. The first proprietor regularly haunts the upstairs lounge, which used to be his and Dorothy's apartment for over 45 years. The second proprietor, Mr. Austin's ghost, has also been seen, after hours loitering in the lobby by employees over the years. It appears he has also made the theater his home. The lobby is also said to be haunted by a crimson-red blood stain. It has been known to appear and disappear in the approximate spot where the former owner, Lawrence Austin, was gunned down by a hired hitman. It is also believed that the projection booth is haunted by the ghost of the former projectionist, who contracted the killing. Although it's quite possible that this second ghost is also John Hampton. The real Ghostbuster house located on Woodrow Wilson Drive. The house is formerly owned by actor Dan Aykroyd. Aykroyd, along with his wife, Donna Dixon, have stated that the house is haunted. He claims that the spiritual inhabitants have done things like turn on his Stairmaster, and push jewelry across his dresser. At one point, he was pretty sure that the ghost was Mama Cass because, in his words, "I'm sure it's Mama Cass because you get the feeling it's a big ghost." Can't argue with that. The 5-bedroom Hollywood mansion was once home to Mama Cass Elliot of the Mamas and the Papas, who passed away at age 32 in 1974. But there was one other suspect, though based on a rumor, of a man who died of a drug overdose at a party and they buried him in the hillside. Dan Aykroyd claims his daughter saw this man walking with a little red-haired girl down the hall. Either way, Aykroyd, by his admission, slept with a ghost and snuggled up to it. The house has had many famous owners, including Natalie Wood, Ringo Starr, and Renee Zellweger. It has also had many famous guests including Eric Clapton, Ryan O'Neal, David Crosby, and Don Johnson. Aykroyd said in an interview, "Have I personally ever seen a ghost? Not one. Have I ever felt an unseen presence near me? Damn right." Years later, Aykroyd sold the home. The house was sold to actress Beverly D'Angelo of National Lampoon's Vacation for $3.8 million. Under California law, he was legally required to divulge this information, as California has a law requiring the disclosure of any unusual activity when selling a home. Actor and singer Robbie Williams, who rented the house for several months while in Los Angeles, said he found the place to be completely and utterly haunted. Williams believes he was visited by the spirit of Mama Cass Elliot of the Mamas and the Papas, just as Aykroyd had. When the group's hit California Dreamin' was played on a TV show he was watching, Williams says the entire atmosphere in the home changed, resulting in a silence I've never experienced before or since. Williams said he once discussed his experience with Zach Starkey, son of Ringo Starr, who lived in the house as a child when the former Beatle owned it. According to Williams, when Starkey learned where he was staying at, he asked, "I hear you're at the old house. Have you met the kids yet? We used to play with them when we were little." The Hotel Cecil. Located at 640 South Main Street, Los Angeles. In 1924, hotel developer William Banks Hanner invested over $1 million, building a hotel in Los Angeles, with a marble lobby, stained glass windows, and alabaster statues. Unfortunately, the Great Depression came a few years after. In the decades to follow, the hotel and its surrounding area slowly declined. Today, the neighborhood's name has become synonymous with the saying Skid Row. The once beautiful hotel quickly gained a reputation as a hangout for drug addicts, runaways, and criminals. But far more shocking, the Cecil Hotel earned a reputation for its violence and deaths. Over the years it has been documented that at least 18 murders and suicides have taken place there. The first suicide was that of Percy Cook, who shot himself in the head while inside his hotel room, after failing to reconcile with his estranged wife. Some of the other more notable deaths were: in 1931, W.K. Norton, who was found dead in his room after taking poison capsules. In July of 1934, former Army Medical Corps Sergeant Louis Borden was found dead in his room at the Cecil. He had slashed his throat with a razor. In 1937, Grace Magro jumped or fell from a 9th-story window. Her fall was broken by telephone wires, which were wrapped around her body. In 1938, United States Marine Corps soldier Roy Thompson jumped from Cecil's top floor and was found on the skylight of a neighboring building. In 1944, Dorothy Purcell was sharing a room at the Cecil with her boyfriend, Ben Levine. Purcell, who was unaware that she was pregnant, went into labor. She later testified that she did not want to disrupt the sleeping Levine, so she went to the bathroom where she gave birth to a baby boy. Mistakenly thinking her newborn was dead, Purcell threw her live baby out the window and onto the roof of the building next door. At her trial, she was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity, and she was admitted to a hospital for psychiatric treatment. In 1962, 65-year-old George Giannini was walking by the Cecil with his hands in his pockets, when he was struck to death by a falling woman. Pauline Otten jumped from her 9th-floor window after an argument with her estranged husband. Her fall killed both her and Giannini instantly. Police initially thought the two had committed suicide together, but reconsidered when they found Giannini was still wearing shoes. If he had jumped, his shoes would have fallen off mid-flight. In 2013, the body of Elisa Lam, a Canadian student, was found inside one of the water supply tanks on the hotel roof. She had gone missing almost 3 weeks earlier, on January 31, 2013. Her decomposing body was discovered by a maintenance worker in one of the rooftop water tanks, after guests had complained about low water pressure and water that tasted funny. Before her death, surveillance cameras caught Lam acting strangely in an elevator, at times appearing to yell at someone out of view, as well as apparently attempting to hide from someone, while pressing multiple elevator buttons and waving her arms erratically. She was reported to have had bipolar disorder, for which she was prescribed various medications, which could have contributed to her death, as well as her strange behavior in the elevator. The hotel has also had many dark guests. In the mid-1980s, Richard Ramirez, the murderer of 13 people and better known as the Night Stalker, lived in a room on the top floor of the hotel during much of his horrific killing spree. He disposed of evidence, including bloody clothes, in the hotel's dumpster. In 1991, Austrian serial killer Jack Underwedger, who murdered and strangled sex workers, also lived at the hotel. Rumor has it that he chose the hotel because of its connection to Ramirez. Because the area around the Cecil Hotel was popular with sex workers, Underwedger stalked and searched for his victims. One of his victims he is believed to have killed vanished right down the street from the hotel. Underwedger even claimed to have dated the hotel's receptionist. In 1947, Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, was allegedly spotted having a drink at the hotel before her murder. Many guests have experienced haunted and paranormal events, including apparitions, or strange and unexplained noises, phantom-like touches. Guests have also reported cold spots, which is often a sign that the paranormal is present. The 2015 season of the TV show American Horror Story, starring Lady Gaga, was influenced by the hotel's dark past. The hotel was also the focus of the Netflix true crime series, Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Tell us what you think about the Cecil Hotel, its past and its hauntings. And as always, please like and subscribe.